Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining in yet another video on this channel. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the great cosmic shift that is happening in this year itself. And this is happening because four very important planets are having certain very important transits that are going to impact each one of us in this year in a multitude of ways. Okay. And why this becomes important is because, we always speak about, we always speak about 2025 being the year of Mars. And, Mars always represents instability because the number, even if you look at numerologically, the number 9 itself, which is represented by Mars, is a very unstable number. Okay. So this is going to be a challenging time from the perspective of Vedic astrology. And challenges also bring about transformations. Okay. They always bring about change, or rather they force us to change. Okay. And the planetary alignments, transits and the cosmic influences that are about to happen, they are all pointing to some significant global and personal upheavals. Okay. And if you look at the major transits of 2025, you will see that the first transit has started with the movement of Saturn into the sign of Pisces. Okay. And because Saturn represents the ending of things, okay, so this transit of Saturn into Pisces is going to indicate the end of the way the world works. Okay. And this is going to be because of a mix of technological advancements as well as social upheavals. Okay. And remember, Saturn is the planet of masses. Okay. So Saturn's influence is going to empower the common people, that is going to test leadership, governance, as well as global stability. Okay. The next big shift that is happening is the shift of the Rahu-Ketu axis. Okay. So Rahu-Ketu, we know that they move in a uh, different direction, as because they are always retrograde. Okay, so they will move in the reverse direction. So from the Pisces Virgo axis, Rahu-Ketu will be shifting towards Aquarius and Leo. Okay, and then because Rahu-Ketu can be a very turbulent shift, so this shift of Rahu to Aquarius and Ketu to Leo can bring about sudden changes in politics, economy, as well as our personal lives, creating a lot of volatile, a lot of volatile situations, as well as a lot of confusing situations. Okay, and finally we have the transit of Jupiter, that will transit Gemini in the month of May 2025. Okay, and in the month of October, Jupiter is going to exit Gemini and enter its delightful sign of Cancer, which is of course owned by the moon. Okay, so you're going to find a lot of changes in the mental landscape. Okay, everyone is going to find a lot of changes in the mental landscape, right? Now, if you look at the challenges of 2025, as I said, challenges are always about growth opportunities. Okay, so the first challenge that 2025 is going to bring is the challenge of economic instability and a financial crisis. Okay, so when Jupiter goes into Gemini and Saturn will be in Pisces, okay, the financial world might see some kind of instability in the form of economic recessions, market crashes, as well as unpredictable inflation. So what you must do is that you have to be careful with your investments. Okay, you have to be careful with your investments, and you have to be careful in the way that you are spending money. Okay, you have to avoid taking unnecessary risks. Okay, so because Jupiter will be moving out of Taurus and transiting Gemini. So Taurus, we know it's a sign associated with wealth and material prosperity. So the movement of Jupiter into Gemini in Atichara Gati. Atichara is when the planet is moving at a very high speed. It may bring sudden shifts in the global economy. Okay, and remember, Jupiter was Atichara at the time of the COVID pandemic. Okay, and because the the planet Saturn is also changing sign into Pisces and will initially meet Rahu in Pisces before Rahu moves to Aquarius. So this can lead to unpredictability, inflation, and even market crashes. Okay, so there would be sudden fluctuations in stock markets as well as in the crypto market. Remember, cryptocurrency is ruled by Saturn. Okay, and the job market is going to remain fairly unstable with major layoffs in technology and finance as well as traditional industries as more and more focus comes to technology. Okay, and there will also be a lot of uncertainty in the real estate market. Okay, because of rising prices in some region as well as crashes in other regions. Okay, so if you are making investments, these investments may lead to losses. So you have to be very, very careful with your speculative trading, especially if Pisces is ruling your fifth house. Okay, then remember, Rahu is the great revolutionary, and when it comes to its own house in Aquarius, okay, and when it meets Saturn in Pisces, this can cause a lot of turbulence in governance, leadership struggles as well as mass protests. Okay, and if you look at the political situation around the world right now, you will see a lot of political tensions and conflicts between world leaders. Okay, and this could lead to a potential third world war or military conflicts in certain regions. Okay, and you'll also see an increased dissatisfaction with governments around the world, including in India. Okay, and that can lead to protests, strikes, and even civil unrest. Okay, and within certain countries, there could be power struggles. Okay, there could be power struggles even even within major political parties. Okay, and because the world is going to undergo some paradigm shifts with regards to technology, with regards to jobs. So there could be some revolutionary movements led by the youth demanding social and economic reforms. Okay, and of course, Rahu is also going to bring a lot of cybersecurity threats, some new cybersecurity threats. Okay, could lead to cyber wars between nations. A lot of misinformation campaigns that can affect global peace. Okay. Then when Saturn meets Rahu in Pisces, so this can lead to a lot of environmental changes in terms of rise in natural disasters as well as certain crises leading to related to the climate change. Okay, so there is a possibility of a wide increase in earthquakes, and as I am making this video, I got the news that a huge earthquake has happened in Malaysia and Thailand that has impacted a lot of people. Okay, so there would be an increase in earthquakes, in landslides, and volcanic eruptions due to the planetary interactions. Okay, and we could also be looking at some extreme weather patterns in the floods, droughts, hurricanes, wildfires becoming more intense. Remember, this is the year of Mars, so we'll see a lot of fire-related issues or fire-related accidents in the news. Okay, and because Mars is the hottest planet, so it can also lead to rising global temperatures that can cause emergencies with regards to climate change. Okay, and remember, the most important crisis is going to be on the waterfront. Okay, you might have already heard of the news that a lot of fishes are coming out to the shores of the ocean. Okay, so this actually indicates that something is happening under the ocean surface. Remember, Pisces represents the ocean, so there would be food and water crisis in certain parts of the world that can lead to a mass humanitarian crisis later on. And similarly, if there are underwater earthquakes that could lead to tsunamis, that could lead to rising sea levels, that could lead to melting of glaciers that may affect coastal cities, especially the city of Orisha. Okay, and that can actually cause mass displacement. Okay, and remember, as I said last time when Jupiter was in Atichara, we had the COVID pandemic. Okay, so this time Jupiter's entry into Gemini, Atichara Gati, can indicate rise of new diseases. Okay, increased mental health issues, a need for greater, you know, mental support for the youth and the young people. Okay, so this can lead to a new pandemic or maybe the resurgence of an old disease. Okay, and respiratory illnesses may also rise due to environmental pollution. And as I said, mental health crisis is going to be very, very prominent in this period. Okay, it can lead to mental anxiety, stress related disorders due to economic and social pressures. And you'll see a lot of cases of suicide coming in, a lot of cases where people are getting murdered by their close ones, by their friends and family. Okay. And the good news is that, the focus is also going to shift on alternative and holistic healing practices like Ayurveda and yoga. Okay. And there will be several advances in medical technology, but then how accessible those new medical developments will be for the common people, that remains a question. Okay. Then we will have a lot of technical disruptions as well as ethical challenges because AI is going to replace more human jobs, leading to social and economic inequality. Okay. And you will see a lot of news where the government is going to use technology for controlling the population of a country by means of digital surveillance. Okay. If you're in India, you will see how the government is how the government is framing laws to survey your social media or to access your email as well as other social media accounts. Okay, so there is going to be an increased reliance on virtual reality as well as you'll also see possible breakthroughs in space exploration. Okay, we all know how Sunita Williams got stuck in space. Okay, and there was a sort of competition to bring her back. Of course, the good news is that she is back. And then, there could be ethical concerns over biotechnology use, increased biotechnology use, like genetic modifications, as well as AI-driven healthcare. Okay, so AI is already disrupting the market, right? And finally, there is going to be a huge challenge on the relationship and personal lives of people, leading to emotional turbulence, struggles in relationships, and the need for deep self-reflection. Okay, so you'll hear news of increased breakups, divorces, relationship conflicts, and this is going to happen in your close quarters, between your friends and family, and this is going to happen due to work-related stress as well as external pressures. Okay, and once layoffs become the norm, people will start questioning their life purpose and career choices, leading to major transitions. Okay, and when relationships end, some old karmic patterns can resurface, forcing you to face some unresolved emotional trauma, unresolved emotional wounds. Okay, so this is going to push more people towards spirituality, and people are going to turn towards astrology, meditation, and self-healing. So this is you know these fields, the fields of astrology, the fields of self-help, self-healing, they are going to see a boom in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, so it's not all gloom and doom. Okay, if you have a guru, it's very, very good. If you don't, then please seek out spiritual support. Seek to spend more time with your friends and family. And as they say, together we will survive. Okay, so this is going to be a very, very volatile period. I don't want to mince my words here, but then it's up to you how to turn challenges into opportunities for yourself as well as for your loved ones. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you think this has helped you in any way. Please share this video with your friends and family if you think they can be benefited from this knowledge. And as always, I'll see you soon in yet another video. Namaste. Om Guru Namaha.